Welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your daily horoscope for June 23rd, 2021, which is a Wednesday. But before we begin, I would like to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes that I post on my YouTube channel every single day. I do weekly video horoscopes that I post every single week. And I also do monthly horoscopes and monthly sun rising sign horoscopes that I post every single month. You can watch them all. And I also request you to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. Alright, so today let's start with the first thing, and that happens at about 2 a.m. Pacific time, and that's about 2 p.m. India time. Now, I said in my yesterday's video that I will give both times, and I will give both times. So 2 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. India time. It's about a 12.5-hour difference, but I'm going to give an approximation. Alright, that being said, let's see what's happening. So the moon is here at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, and it is trining Chiron. It's trining Chiron. And what is the moon? The moon is our emotional body. It's our emotions. It's our heart and soul. And what is Chiron? Chiron is our deepest wound. It's also how we heal. And the healing that comes with Chiron is often bittersweet. All right, so at about 2 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. India time, moon trining Chiron is a very profound emotional healing. Moon emotions, Chiron healing. And I don't think it's bittersweet because they're in fire signs and they are trining 120-degree angle positive. And this healing will come naturally. It'll come quite easily. And let's not forget that the moon at 12 degrees of Sagittarius is sextiling Saturn, 60-degree angle. Okay? And this is also in a sextile to Chiron. The two sextiles happening and there's a trine happening. So this is a lot of positivity. And what does this mean? The moon, when it comes in contact with Saturn, our emotions get defined. And Saturn sextiling Chiron is a healing of sorts through a decision we've taken or through something we've worked on or working on. And this aspect, Saturn sextile Chiron, has been going on since Feb for sure. So it's a slow moving energy. But this configuration right here to me says that emotionally we will heal something that is for the long run, that is going to stay with us for some time. Because sometimes we heal temporarily. I don't know if that's even healing, but sometimes we heal, but we don't really heal for a long time. The same wound kind of comes back. But this healing, I think, is for a long time because Saturn is there. Saturn makes things permanent. It sets things in stone. It's for the long run. So this healing right here is for the long run. And this could also come after an emotional decision because Saturn is decisions. Saturn is defining something. So we might define something emotionally. We might take an emotional decision that will heal us and heal our identity because Chiron is in Aries. And whatever is happening has its roots in the past. And that's because Saturn has been sextiling Chiron for a few months now. So this background work of healing our identity through taking a decision, through building something has been happening. And now it's connected to our emotions. It's an emotional healing as well. And this comes, I think, yesterday at 10 p.m. Pacific time, so today 10 a.m. India time, 23rd June, Chiron, the moon did conjunct the south node. Let's see that. This happened yesterday. Okay, so you can watch yesterday's video to know more. But when the moon conjuncts the south node, we can feel emotionally drained. And I had said in my yesterday's video that this feeling of feeling drained, feeling emotionally low could be very well connected to something from the past. And why do I bring that up? I bring that up because soon after the moon met up with the south node, it moved on to 12 degrees. Right here, it sextiled Saturn. It trined Chiron. And Chiron has been in a sextile with Saturn. So it means then perhaps we had a realization, a revisit, connected to the past from the past, and something changed in us emotionally. Maybe we reviewed something from the past. Something came back, a thought, perhaps, an event, a person. And then we moved on and said, okay, I'm done with that feeling. I'm done with the past. I'm done with that emotion. That's my old life. That's the old me. And now I find healing in that. I'm healing my identity through that. And this healing that I'm receiving is more permanent than it has been. So that's what's been happening at about 2 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. India time. And let's talk about the next thing. The next thing happens in the evening. So I'm going to clean the chart up and then move that forward. And yeah, we're jumping from 2 a.m. Pacific time to about, I think 5 p.m. is it? Yeah, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, it's about 5 p.m. So this is about 5 p.m. Pacific time, and that makes it 5 a.m. 24th June India time. And what's happening then is that Venus is opposing Pluto. Venus, Pluto, 180-degree angle. They're in opposition, which means that first let's define what Venus is, and then let's define what Pluto, and then we'll talk about the opposition. Venus is our relationships, it's love, it's money, it's projects, it's self-worth, it's values, it's skills, it's a lot of things. And Pluto is transformation, it's healing, it's regeneration, it's the ending of something and the beginning of something. It's death and destruction as well. And when Pluto opposes Venus, or Venus opposes Pluto, there's a complete transformation to all Venus-related things. Relationships, money, projects, self-worth, finances, value, skills. There's a deep transformation that takes place. And with Pluto, the transformation is permanent. There's no going back with Pluto. It's the end of something. It's the beginning of something. And it need not just be a transformation. It could also be a healing. Perhaps we feel wounded about some project. Perhaps we are not that confident in our self-worth. I don't know, it could be anything. Or perhaps there's a relationship that has hurt us in some ways. With the opposition to Pluto, it can heal us. It can heal that wound regarding that relationship or that project, or it can heal the self-worth issues if we are having any. Because at some point or another, we all face some challenges. So this is a point where that can happen. And since they're in opposition, the need is to integrate these two elements, make them work together, and it requires change. It requires some sort of adjustment. So the process of that transformation, of that healing, of that regeneration to all Venus-related things, love, money, self-worth, value, skills, projects, business partnerships, might not feel easy, it might feel stressful, but it is transforming. These things are transforming, these things are healing, and that happens at about 5 p.m. in the evening. And as we are transforming all Venus-related things, we are building up into the full moon, which happens tomorrow at about 11 a.m. Pacific time and 11 p.m. India time. So we are building up into that energy. And moving on to about 7 p.m. Pacific time, which means 24th June, 7 a.m. India time, we have, where is it? We have the moon squaring Neptune. Now, we felt a lot of Neptune energy in the past 10 days. We've had a lot of Neptune squares. We had Neptune squaring the new moon solar eclipse on June 10th. We had Neptune square Mercury retrograde. We had Neptune square the sun on June 13th. A lot of Neptune squares. And Neptune is a planet of delusions, of confusion, of lies, of deception, of drugs, of addictions. But on the other hand, it's also the planet of the higher realm, spirituality. Nothing can make you more spiritual than Neptune. Nothing can connect you with the universal consciousness, nothing more than Neptune. So Neptune is our connection to the universal consciousness. It is our connection to the higher realms. It is our spirituality. But every planet has an upside and a downside. And the downside of Neptune can be delusions, addictions, drugs, deception, confusion. So in a square aspect, square is a 90-degree angle, which is considered challenging, which requires us to change something, which requires us to make an adjustment. What is happening now? Neptune is squaring the moon. Neptune is squaring our emotions. We may feel emotionally confused about something, emotionally depressed about something, or addictions and drugs may play up at this point, and we might need to change something to overcome that depressive, confusing, deceptive energy. That's one manifestation. The second manifestation could be emotionally, we make a change, or we make a change in something connected to our day to day reality, and that connects us emotionally with the higher realms. Emotionally and spiritually, after we make some adjustment, after we make a small change, we feel in alignment. So it could manifest either way. I know square is typically challenging, but challenging just means making changes, growing. So it could also be that we adjust something in our emotions that helps us connect to the higher realm. So it could go both ways, but just know that Neptune energy can be difficult, it can be confusing, it can be depressing. And this is 7 p.m. Pacific time, June 23rd. 7 a.m. India time, June 24th, approximately. So that's the energy. And let's talk about some other things which are quite positive. The sun right here is still in a trine with Jupiter. Now, this has been on since yesterday, and this is an extremely hopeful, optimistic, happy energy when it comes to our identity, soul, or consciousness. We could be feeling very optimistic about who we are becoming. We could be feeling very happy about our inner soul, our consciousness. So this is a positive, feel-good energy, and in water signs, it's definitely connected to our emotions. So this is happening in the background. And we do have a full moon tomorrow, so we will be feeling that energy. We'll talk about the full moon in Capricorn in tomorrow's video. But just know that this is a very important full moon. A lot of things will come to light with this full moon, things going back to Jan of 2020. I'll talk about that in a moment. And Mercury also came out of retrograde yesterday, which means that now the clarity will begin to come, because as I mentioned, Neptune has been making a lot of squares. Neptune has been retrograde, which means there can be confusion. Not necessary, but there can be. And now as Mercury moves ahead, confusion will begin to lift off, although within the square to Neptune today, there will be moments of confusion. There might be moments of confusion. And Mercury is still covering its shadow period. It's still covering the, like, I don't know how to say it. It's still covering the space that it's already moved forward and moved backwards. So we might be still dealing with things that we've dealt with before. It's not new territory yet. It will be soon, but not yet. And now I'm going to give you a brief background, and we'll talk about the full moon in Capricorn in that section, about what's been happening in the astrology for the past year or so. And these are the underlying themes, the larger themes of the year, of the past 2 years. And they play out in subtle ways, but these are the underlying currents of astrology. So the first event is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Now these planets conjunct once in 33 to 38 years, and they conjuncted in Jan of 2020, and they changed something in a very powerful way in Jan of 2020, because they conjuncted in Capricorn, which is the sign of material reality. So they transformed something in our reality in a very powerful way. And this new cycle that we started in Jan of 2020 will stay with us till 2053. And tomorrow, the full moon tomorrow, is an important point in this cycle, because tomorrow we will understand to a major degree, in a major way, what that change in Jan of 2020 really was. It'll come to light with a lot of clarity. Why? Because this is the first full moon in Capricorn that's happening without the Libra energy. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. Let me explain. So they conjuncted, Saturn and Pluto conjuncted in Jan of 2020. Okay. But we did not have a new moon in Capricorn till Jan of 2021. Okay, and with the new moon, that Capricorn cycle that started in Jan 2020 kind of came alive. And new moons complete, culminate, reveal themselves on the full moon. So this full moon in Capricorn is the actual reveal of that Jan 2020 cycle. Last year in June, it was June, when we had a full moon in Capricorn, we still had the old cycle energy with us. Before this, Saturn and Pluto conjuncted in 1982 in the sign of Libra. But last June, we still had that Libra energy with us. This year, we don't. This is a special full moon in Capricorn. We'll talk about it in depth tomorrow, so I just thought I'd mention it. The second thing I want to mention is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. Now, these planets meet once in 20 years as well, and they met in December of 2020, so about six months ago. And they started a new cycle, and we'll build this new cycle in the next 2 years, lay the foundation for it. So right now we're building. Because so many long-term cycles started last year, 2 long-term cycles started last year actually. The Saturn-Pluto and the Saturn-Jupiter, and both will require us to build. Because when a cycle starts, old things go away and new things need to come in, but we need to build those new things. So that's what the energy is of 2021. And the next thing I want to talk about is the Saturn. Yeah, a lot of Saturn involved. Saturn-Uranus square. 90-degree angle between these two energies. Now, this energy also we're seeing after 21 years. So it's a rare event. And this energy is all about getting rid of old things, old thought processes, old structures, old anything that's not serving you anymore, and embracing the new. And it's also about finding your unique self. Embracing your unique self, becoming your unique self. And actually the way to navigate this energy is by just embracing your uniqueness. And we'll be in this energy all year, even into next year. So this is the third underlying theme that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes with more intensity, sometimes with less, but we deal with it. And the last thing I'll mention are the nodes. The North Node is in Gemini, the South Node is in Sagittarius. They were in Gemini and Sag respectively between 2001 and 2003. And the nodes are karmic. So some themes, some situations, some people, some events might come back into your life. Since May of 2020, this has been happening, might come back into your life for you to close out, for you to review, reprocess, or take forward in your life. So that's all the background I'll give. And now I will pick a card for the day, and then we'll close out the reading. Okay, I'm going to go with the top card. It says flexible. I guess the universe is telling us to be flexible today, make certain changes, adjustments, not stick to our guns not stick to our, okay, I need to do this, I need to do it this way, no, I can't make a change. Not be rigid, basically. And be flexible and let go, because once you become flexible, things will fall into place. Yeah, I think the energy is to be flexible today. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say, and do hit the subscribe button. Have a great day, and tomorrow is a full moon, so you might be feeling the intensity. Full moon energies don't feel easy, so if you're feeling it, just know it's the full moon in Capricorn that's building up. And do hit the subscribe button. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.